The scout regiment's horses came home in a state of blind terror, riders dead or dying, the animals frothing and unrideable.
Get them inside. The horses can't hold any longer.
Even the survivors were barely hanging on. Their mounts had spooked at the first Titan footfall, scattering the formation. From the stable doorway, a young stable hand watched. Riku's knuckles were white against the frame.
They didn't have to die. A horse that can't keep its head in the field is a death sentence.
Riku was nothing more than the lowest-ranked stable hand, assigned to muck stalls, never to be trusted with a mission mount.
Hey, Riku, quit gawking and get back to work. These stalls won't clean themselves.
I'm going.
Maybe if you weren't so useless, you could have been a real scout like your father. But here you are, shoveling dung.
But Riku's father had been a master breeder, and what he taught his son before he died could change everything. If Riku lived long enough to use it, the memory surfaced unbidden, his father's stable, warm with hay and certainty.
Father always said, breed for heart, not just speed. A steady horse brings a soldier home.
The core doctrine ignored this, and every failed mission proved it bloody right.
Before I could learn more, he was gone. Only his journal remains.
Riku kept the battered leather volume hidden beneath his bunk, a relic of lost knowledge. That afternoon, after the scouts had dispersed, he sat alone with the yellowed pages. His father's notes detailed the temperament of every horse in the corps, stable, mapping bloodlines back generations.
Juniper, calm under thunder. Aries, bold enough to charge a Titan. Together, they might produce something extraordinary.
He closed the journal with resolve. Tonight, he would begin his father's work. When the barracks fell silent, Riku crept to the stable, halter in hand, and unlatched Juniper's stall. In the darkness, Riku led Juniper to Ares' stall. The stallion snorted, but Juniper stood placid, and the deed was done in silence. Weeks passed. Riku falsified the stable logs, marking Juniper for rest in the outer pastures.
Every day I expect someone to notice the swell of her belly, but the routine here is blind to the obvious.
He checked on her at odd hours, bringing feed and water under the pretense of tending the far fields. One afternoon, Master Oscar appeared unexpectedly at the far paddock, his eyes narrowing.
Riku, what are you doing out here? Official duties are back at the main stable.
There's a loose mare that might have injured herself. I was just checking the fence.
A frantic whinny from the yard drew Oscar's attention. Riku's fabrication bought him enough time to hide the evidence. That night, under a sky split by lightning, Juniper labored alone. Riku's hands were steady, and a black colt emerged. The foal stood on spindly legs, a white star blazing on its forehead. Riku whispered, "Kage, my shadow." Over 3 years, Kage grew strong in a hidden forest paddock. Far from prying eyes, Riku trained him with methods the Corps had never considered. Clashing metal, rotting meat, and recorded Titan screams desensitized the horse.
He doesn't flinch at the sounds that shatter other horses. His heart is exactly what my father described.
He even acclimated Kage to the scent of blood, dragging soaked rags through the training course until the stallion merely snorted and moved on. Now 3 years old, Kage was a towering black stallion with uncanny intelligence, yet he remained utterly unknown to the regiment. In the main stables, the official breeding program continued producing skittish horses that bolted at shadows. Riku watched from the gate as another expedition formed up. Captain Lissa's mount already dancing sideways before the gate even opened.
That horse will spook at the first Titan. She'll be lucky to come back at all.
His fingers dug into the wooden frame, but he said nothing. A stable hand's warning would be ignored, or worse, investigated. He had a horse that could outrun Titans and carry its rider home. But no one would ever believe a lowly stable hand. 2 days into the expedition, Captain Lissa's formation was ambushed in the eastern forest. Her gelding screamed as its legs snapped. Lissa hit the ground hard, sword skittering away. Riku had quietly assigned the Black Stallion to the supply line, a desperate hope now realized.
Just hold together, you beast.
The stallion exploded into motion, not away, but toward the gap in the Titan formation. Kage leaped a ravine that would have killed any other horse, then veered sharply, a Titan claw missing them by inches. When a small Titan blocked their path, Kage reared, striking with iron-shod hooves until it reeled back. She clung to the stallion's mane as they raced for the wall. Guards threw the gate open, and Kage never slowed. Later, in the infirmary, Commander Aldrich found her bandaged but alive.
That horse, it knew. It sensed the Titans before I did. Where did it come from?
Within days, whispers of the miracle horse spread through the barracks like wildfire.
Riku, the Black Stallion from the supply line, you assigned him. Why?
He was the only remount available. I follow the logbook.
I've ridden every core horse for years. That animal was different. You know something.
Other scouts, hearing Lissa's questions, began approaching Riku directly, slipping notes requesting the same supply line horses. Master Oscar saw his grip on the stables loosening and decided to act.
You are playing favorites, boy. Assigning your pets instead of the regular stock. That ends now.
The scouts request specific horses. I am fulfilling their orders per protocol.
Riku did not back down. Every morning, more scouts found their requested mounts waiting, but Oscar's glare promised consequences none of them could see coming. The clatter of hooves and stable tools halted when Princess Sakura strode in, her silver ponytail swinging.
Your Highness, what an honor. Let me show you our finest breeding stock.
I am not here for your stock. I want the boy who trains horses that don't panic.
She walked past the flustered stable master and stopped in front of Riku, her gaze unwavering.
Show me everything. How you trained that Black Stallion to stay calm in battle.
It's not something that can be taught in a day. Your Highness.
Then I'll come every day until I master it.
She's not like the others. She actually means it.
Riku hesitated, but her eyes held a fire he hadn't seen in any officer. Without waiting for permission, he led her to the training ground. For hours, she practiced the drills, her hands blistered, but her focus unbroken. From the shadow of the stable arch, Master Oscar watched, his face dark with fury. A princess undermining his authority was bad enough, but a peasant boy teaching her, this was a slight he would not forget. And he knew someone in the capital who would listen. Over the following weeks, Riku taught Sakura not just drills, but why a steady heart mattered more than speed.
My mother pushed me into the Scouts. I want to prove I can lead by understanding, not just command.
Understanding comes from listening, mostly to the horses. They know more than we do.
Then, on a gray morning, a battered formation limped home. Against all odds, every scout survived, riding Riku's horses.
This is your victory, Riku. The regiment will see it.
If they look too closely, they'll find things I'd rather keep in the shadows.
That evening, Master Oscar's pen moved with vengeful precision, detailing Riku's secret breeding to the Royal Commerce Council. He sealed the denunciation with a smirk, knowing it would end the stable boy's defiance. Sakura glimpsed the sealed letter as a courier rode away. The destination made her blood run cold.
The council will use this to crush him. I have to protect him, even if he never knows.
Commander Aldrich summoned Riku to his office early the next morning, where maps of recent Titan assaults covered the walls.
Captain Lissa tells me you've been selectively assigning mounts with unprecedented success. Is this true?
Riku stood straight, knowing his secret could no longer stay hidden. Behind Aldrich, Captain Lissa gave a small, encouraging nod.
Yes, sir. I've been using temperament-based breeding and training. My horses stay calmer under Titan pressure.
Then, from today, you are horse selection overseer. You will have authority over every mount in the regiment.
You can't give a stable boy that authority. I've managed these stables for 20 years.
Your management nearly cost us an entire squad last month. The results don't lie. Overseer Riku will select the horses for the next expedition.
Riku left the office with a new badge on his vest, heart pounding. That afternoon, he walked the horse lines, pointing out mounts for the critical mission. Days later, in the capital's opulent council hall, Lord Winters opened a courier's packet. The denunciation from Oscar made him smile with cold calculation.
A peasant doing unauthorized breeding inside the core? How? Enterprising. This could be very profitable indeed.
Lord Winters arrived under the pretense of a routine audit, his silver-tipped cane tapping against the cobblestones as he surveyed the stables with a predator's calm.
Remarkably calm animals. I am told you've been breeding them almost secretly.
I train them to do their job, nothing more.
Come now. I've seen the reports. You have a bloodline here that could revolutionize military supply.
With a flick of his wrist, Winters signaled his guards to leave. Then he spoke in a whisper, meant only for Riku.
You will sign over your breeding stock to the Royal Commerce Council. Refuse, and I will see this regiment starved of fodder by winter.
These horses belong to the scouts. I won't hand them over to your merchants.
Think carefully. I own the supply contracts. Your heroics mean nothing without hay and grain.
Hours later, Sakura found him in the windowless tack room, trembling with rage and fear.
I saw the letter Oscar sent to the council. My family has fought their monopoly for decades. If they take your bloodline, it won't stop with horses.
Within a week, the supply wagons stopped arriving, hay stores dwindled to dust, and the horses' ribs began to show through their coats. In the mess hall, hunger sharpened tongues. Scouts who had once cheered Riku now avoided his gaze.
You should have just signed the papers, Riku. Now the horses are starving because of your stubbornness.
Master Oscar seized the moment, his voice carrying across the yard where the horses stood, thin and silent.
The council's terms were generous. Refusing them has put every man and beast in danger. This is what happens when a stable boy thinks he's a savior.
Riku walked between the rows of hungry horses, ignoring the glares, only a handful of riders, and Sakura still stood with him. That night, he pressed his forehead to Kage's neck in the darkened stable. The stallion's steady breath was the only comfort left. Sakura found him there, her footsteps soft on the hay. She didn't speak at first, just knelt beside him.
I won't let them take Kage. I won't let them turn him into a commodity.
Then we need another way. Something they can't predict.
Riku's mind raced back to his father's journal, to a passage he had never truly understood until now. He pulled the worn leather volume from his satchel, flipping to a page underlined with faded ink.
If they try to own what is free, set it free. That's what my father wrote. We don't fight their claim, we make it impossible.
You want to release every horse in the breeding program. That's madness. Winters will have you arrested.
He can't arrest the countryside. Once the bloodline is in common hands, scattered across farms, no contract can reclaim it.
Sakura's horror slowly melted into calculating silence. The audacity of it was breathtaking, and in that breath, she saw the genius.
We release them at night, all of them, including Kage and the pregnant mares. Then they'll be impossible to gather.
I know the terrain. We can move them to the inner wall pastures, through the old sheep trails, but I'll need you to find farmers willing to take them.
I can use my family's trusted contacts. We'll spread them so far the council will choke on their own paperwork.
This will end my career. Maybe worse.
Then I'll be a stable hand with you.
Night after night, Riku led horses through the old sheep trails, their hoofbeats muffled by moss and shadow. In a forgotten barn, Sakura pressed coins into a farmer's calloused hand. The mare beside her nickered softly.
She carries Kage's blood. Keep her safe, and tell no one where she came from.
Each dawn, the hidden paddock beyond the wall grew more crowded. Riku watched the horizon, dreading a horseman in royal livery. On the third night, Bran came stumbling from the village inn, his feet dragging toward the paddock's edge.
Bran, there's a loose stallion in the main yard. I need your help before it kicks down the gates.
Bran swore and staggered toward the stables, while Riku exhaled. The horses had not stirred. Sakura appeared from the shadows, her voice barely a breath.
We can't wait any longer. Winters will be back with a court order any day. We move them tomorrow.
Riku nodded, his gaze on the restless silhouettes of the horses. Tomorrow, his life's work would either vanish into freedom or end in chains. At moonrise, Riku saddled Kage one last time, pressing his forehead to the stallions. The scent of hay and trust filled the dark.
You saved Lissa. You saved so many. Now you'll save the whole line by disappearing.
Sakura unbared the postern gate. Oiled hinges did not betray. The horses poured out, hooves wrapped in cloth.
Go. Follow the sound of running water. The farmers are waiting.
At the crossroads, shadows took halters quietly. Sakura counted each horse that vanished into the dark. Only Kage remained at the meadow's edge. The field stretched vast, touched by gray dawn light.
Go on. Be free.
The stallion turned, eyes meeting Riku's for a last moment. Then he galloped, a black arrow into the sky. Riku stood rooted until silence. Then Sakura held him as years of swallowed sobs broke free. By dawn, they walked the empty stable. The silence was heavy, but within Riku, a fierce warmth. No council would ever own these horses again. Master Oscar's morning gloating turned to shrieking when he found the stalls standing empty and silent.
Gone. Every breeding horse gone. This is sabotage. Treason against the crown.
By midday, Lord Winters arrived with royal guards and a warrant, his elegant composure shattering at the sight of barren stables. He demanded Riku be dragged to Commander Aldrich's office, where maps of recent battles still lined the walls.
You have committed treason against the royal supply chain. I will see you executed.
Those horses were not crown property yet. You need more than a warrant to arrest a sworn soldier under my command.
I invoke emergency powers. This boy is a menace to the realm. Seize him.
Guards wrenched Riku forward. Sakura, pale as ash, pushed through and caught his hand. He squeezed once, then let go.
It's done. They can't take them now.
This isn't over. I will find a way to free him.
3 days later, the royal court convened under gilded ceilings. Lord Winters sat at the prosecution bench, smug before the assembled nobles.
The stable hand, Riku, conspired to sell the bloodline to a foreign power. These ledgers trace payments to an enemy agent.
The documents were crude forgeries. The ink barely dry, but the court gasped on cue.
Those ledgers are lies. I helped Riku release the horses, and I hold evidence of who truly orchestrated this.
She held aloft the denunciation letter, Oscar's seal catching the candlelight.
Master Oscar wrote to the council, begging to seize the stock. The council wanted private profit, not public safety.
Arrest her. She admits complicity in treason.
But a duke's daughter stood beyond his reach, and her words lit the court with uncomfortable truth. The judge, a neutral appointee, banged his gavel and suspended the trial. Political machinery ground to a halt. By evening, Riku was moved to house arrest. The bloodline, now irreversibly public, had already escaped the council's grasp. While the trial stalled, the bloodline did the opposite. Scouts rode to every village, spreading the word of horses, the people now called the people's stock. In the fields, farmers' sons led sturdy colts marked with that same white star, a testament to Riku's hidden breeding. A farrier testified under oath. A colt from a local farm matched the scouts' finest mounts, and it had never been near the core stable. Lord Winters read the reports in his private chamber. Every sheet made his knuckles whiten.
It's out of control. They're breeding them in every ditch and field.
The neutral judge, citing mounting evidence of council misconduct, banged his gavel and declared a mistrial. The case was indefinitely suspended. Even Winters could not argue against the kingdom's own horse breeders. In his holding room, Riku heard the news. A life behind bars receded like a shadow at dawn. The bloodline spread beyond any leash. Farmers traded stock, and within months, no corner of the kingdom was untouched by Kage's descendants. The Royal Commerce Council's monopoly lay shattered, their legal case buried under the very freedom they sought to choke. Commander Aldrich pinned a silver horsehead badge onto Riku's vest before the assembled scouts.
From this day, you are Master of Horse, a title that will outlast us all.
Riku's fingers brushed the cold silver. The weight of years pressed down, not of burden, but of purpose. Across the square, Lord Winters was escorted from the Capitol building, his velvet disheveled and cane trembling. The Royal Commerce Council's grip shattered. Oscar's name was struck from the rolls, a traitor to the regiment. Captain Lissa returned from a raid, her mount a descendant of Kage. Not one horse had buckled under fire.
Every horse held, not one bolted. This is his legacy.
Later, Riku walked the empty stable. Kage's stall was bare, the scent of hay the only remnant.
I never wanted fame. I only wanted them to be safe.
And they were running free across the kingdom. His father's dream carried on every hoof. On the day of her officer's commission, Sakura found Riku in the training yard, the silver clasp of her cloak catching the morning light.
I've been posted to the northern border. They need officers who understand horse tactics. I could request a transfer here, to the main stables. We could work side by side.
Number. They need you out there, where the horses prove their worth. I'll still be here, training the next generation.
She mounted a young mare, a great-granddaughter of Kage, and gathered the reins.
How right. And when the border is quiet, I'll come visit.
She kicked the mare into a canter, her silver ponytail streaming behind. At the gate, she turned and raised a hand. Riku stood motionless, watching until her silhouette faded over the hill.
Be safe, Sakura. The horses will bring you home.
Then he turned back to the stables, where a new batch of young scouts were waiting for their first lesson. Years passed like seasons in the fresh hay, each bringing new foals, new recruits, and the same quiet devotion. In the town square, a bronze statue of a young man with a horse had become a gathering place for children's games. Riku still wore the same worn vest, his hands steady as he poured grain for a favorite old mare. A dust-covered courier clattered into the yard, pressing a worn envelope into his calloused palm. The handwriting was Sakura's, a single line. I am coming home. A dried bluebell slid from the folded paper, a flower from the northern border where she'd served.
She kept her promise. After all these years, she's kept it.
Somewhere on the distant plains, a silver-haired officer nudged her black horse into a canter, headed south. And in every stable across the kingdom, the calm descendants of Kage stood ready, his bloodline, the unspoken promise of return. Riku tucked the flower beside his silver badge. The boy who had let his horses go was about to get something back. Riku, I've been promoted to a permanent instructor post at HQ. I am coming home. You gave me purpose, and I intend to repay that every day. He looked up from the paper, and through the dusty window of the tack room, saw a silver-haired rider dismounting at the gate. Riku's heart hammered as he stepped into the yard. Sakura stood there, older, steadier, her violet eyes meeting his. No words were needed. Years melted in that embrace.
I told you I'd come back.
And I told you the horses would bring you home.
They walked together to the paddock, where a foal with Kage's star kicked up his heels. Riku slipped his hand into hers. The silver badge and the dried bluebell rested over his heart. The master of horse and the officer who had learned from him stood side by side, watching the next generation thrive. Riku was never a commander, not the strongest scout, nor the fastest horse rider, but he gave the scouts something stronger than Titan steel, a chance to come home. Every horse that carried a soldier through Titan territory carried a piece of his heart. His bloodline runs free now, through every pasture and farm in the kingdom. No council can seize it. No contract can own it. It belongs to the people, and every scout who mounts up knows they ride on the legacy of the Horsemaster. Somewhere on an endless plain, beneath the setting sun, a black stallion runs. His silhouette is the promise that freedom can never be taken away. The boy who let his horses go gave the world something it could never lose. The Horsemaster.